G'day and welcome back to Ducks or the Gaming live on YouTube. Well, at least I hope we're live on YouTube. Everything looks okay. I just don't know if we got the sound. So, but I think everything is okay. And yes, we are back into ATS, American Truck Simulator. It has been a while since it's been on YouTube, and I do apologise for that. I'll talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, today we're going to head into ATS. We're doing a viewer's choice series. Very much akin to our viewer's choice series over on Twitch. Now let me just get off this music a little bit. I didn't kill off the volume. Hey Canadian Tunic, how are you, my friend? Welcome. Music volume. UI music. Get rid of that. Don't like the music. Right. Yeah, so just like what we do over on Twitch. There's no filler this thing. That's part of the reason why I'm playing it, Tunic. Yeah, so along with what we do over on Twitch, I'll get my head right in a minute. So but the basic premise of this game is, as we're driving along, as we're doing upgrades, as we're purchasing items, as we're doing trips, you, the viewer, will vote basically on what we're going to do, what we're going to buy, and all that sort of good stuff. So, what have we got? We've got ATS with all the DLCs, and we are basically good to go. Now, I've started this one a little bit differently. So, over on the ETS 2 version, which we're doing on Twitch, and if you want to watch us over there, you're more than welcome to come over. We'll be over there this afternoon, continuing on with ETS 2. With this one here, I've actually gone through, and instead of starting it right from scratch from level 0 effectively and having to work my way through, I've worked my way up through to level 5. We don't own any trucks or anything as yet, I don't think. Let me make sure. We haven't got a garage, we haven't got a truck, we haven't got anything like that. So we haven't actually bought anything as yet. So that's what we're going to do right now. So, see, we've got Canadian Tunic. We've got at least one viewer there. So that's what we'll do. We're going to head in, and maybe it'll just be Canadian Tunic that gets to have the vote. But basically, if you want to have a vote, want to put it forward, just in chat, let me know what your votes are. Hopefully, I'll have someone like Canadian or JJ or someone like that might turn up. In fact, what I might do is I might just flick over to Discord. And if JJ or someone wants to join the stream as one of my admins, and welcome to do so. Right, so they may come in and have a bit of a chat as well. All right, let's get this cracking. So, there's our garage. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the bank first, and I'm going to go to the bank first. And I'm going to get some money. Now we can do a couple of different things, and what I'm going to do is I very early want to actually buy a garage and get some other employees running. But initially, I'm going to take out the probably. Let me see. We'll take out $500,000. That'll be enough to get our truck and everything else up and running. So let's take $500,000. Now this is a mod. We're not cheating. We're not taking any extra money. The money I've already got in the account is what I've earned up doing jobs up to this point in time. We're not cheating. We're not taking any extra money. Anything we actually do have in the way of money, we've got to pay back to the bank. In relation to cheats and all that sort of stuff and mods, we have no cheating mods. There's no mods for extra. Yeah, g'day, Dave. We don't have any mods for. It's just interesting. Your chat hasn't come up. Oh, there it is. It's much more delayed. We haven't got any cheats in relation to gameplay, so we're going to be driving as realistically as I possibly can, which isn't very realistic. But yeah, so all right, let's get into it. We got the loan. Shut up, duck. Let's go. Now let's go see, can we get a garage? You need to buy your first truck. Right, we need to buy our first truck first. So we're going to go to, where's my truck dealers? Up here. Right, so we have a choice. First choice you've got to make is Mac or Western Star. So the next 30 seconds, in chat, type in Mac or Western Star, and that'll be the choice we take. While I have a quick sip of coffee. How are you, Dave? How are you, Tunic? So we've got one vote for Mac. So Mac is leading. Good choice. I like the old Mac. Western Star. Oh, geez, that doesn't help. Right, is there anyone else that can break the tie? We're looking to break the tie. Otherwise, I'll have to choose. Waiting. Yeah, I'm good. I'm actually quite good. I'm a bad new tunic. Nice start. Been back for 5 minutes and always going to get a ban, or already going to get a ban. My son is actually about to log in and he was going to actually vote. What are you going to vote for? Just tell me. Oh, you bastard. He's voted Western Star. Well, there it is. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so we are going to go Western Star. My son is no longer my son. I can't buy online. I've got to visit selected dealer. Come on. Let's see. Right. Oh, but as you can see with the map, we haven't explored much either. So we've got a lot of exploring to do. Right. Yes, I want to go to Stockton and visit Western Star. Now. Good boy. Yeah. He's not a dog, tunic. All right. So we've only got one choice. So that's the only thing we can get is the 49X day cab. So that's what we're going to get. So let's customize. Right. So first thing is our cabin. Cabin, we can't choose anything, so there's no choices there. Right. Yes, I am sure. Right. So chassis. Now, really what we want to do is we want to go to okay. So basically we need to choose the chassis. So the 6x2 is 150 gallon, 6x2 with 200 gallon. The difference between those is apologies, I just had to go and sneeze. Right, which one of these do we want? Just 200 gallon? Does not going to make a lot of difference actually. Just extends the nose a little bit with one of them. We'll just take that one. There's not really much of a choice there. Okay, so engines. We're going to go the 400 horsepower. We're going to go the 410. So we got a choice of either the Cummins, or the Detroit. Yeah, there was the last two choices were both 200 gallons, so they're both the same. Come on, what are we doing? Cummins or Detroit? Give me a pick. Cummins or Detroit? First one in. Oh, Canadian was what? Why do you get timed out? Oh, the bot's gone a bit stupid, but anyway, sorry, Tunic. Okay, what have we got? The DD 410. So the Detroit. Okay, we'll take the Detroit. Right, done. Okay. Oh, geez, look at the. So which transmission? That's the next thing. Right. Go down the bottom because normally we want to go the better ones. Yeah, it's just Streamlabs Tunic. I have to go in and fine tune because I haven't been on YouTube for ages. It's probably got a setting that I haven't really worried about. We got an 18-speed retarder. We got the new Eaton full. Doesn't really matter, I guess, does it? They're all about the same. Let's just take that one. You don't get a choice that one. Interior, there's no choices there. Righto, paint job. This is where you get to choose. There's all the standard paint jobs, and then there's all these ones here. So which paint job are we going to go? We're going to go, firstly, we're going to go one of these preset paint jobs, or we're going to choose our own color. I'm assuming everything is coming across okay for you guys too. Picture and all that sort of stuff so far, and sound. Any choices? Otherwise, I'll just make it and keep on going so we get out on the road. Gunmetal grey with blazing orange accents. Yeah, but which base design you want to go? Chat's really delayed. Okay. Let me... I don't know if I can change it on the fly or not. Let me have a look. Bear with me and I'll have a look and see if I can change it. I don't know if I can change it on the fly though, can I? Union and Serenity. Right. That's the two choices. Well, I'll break the impasse in a second. Just let me see if I can change the chat. Details. I have to go into... Oh. Right. How do I get my bloody studio up? Hopefully this doesn't drop it and reset it. Okay, edit. I'm back in there. I may be able to do it now. Okay, that's done. Save that. Right. Yeah, wait. Come on. It's not letting me do... Where's my latency? It was in options, I'm sure of it. Sorry, guys. It's been that long since I've been in YouTube. Latency. I'm sure there's a thing here for chat latency. Live chat. There it is. Enable live chat. Enable slow mode. Allow chat. No, well, that's just the standard delay. I can allow live chat and replay. Yeah, there's nothing else I can do for the delay. Sorry. It's on the fastest it can be on, apparently. Anyway, all right, so we've got a choice between Serenity and what was the other one? Union. All right, let's get into this. I'm with Dave. I'm going to go Serenity. All right, now he's got to change the colors. All right. We'll just do that. Look, I'm going to do this one really quickly. What color? Yeah. And then we've really just got to do the Duxorley orange and green. What do you reckon? Does that look all right? Is that okay? You happy with that? It doesn't matter if you're not. That's what we're going with. Right, let's go. Accessories. I'm not going to worry about accessories too much. It's not going to help us. So let's just confirm that. Right. We're going to purchase. Right. Now, I also... Yeah. Well, we can change that later. Well, what I was going to do is I was going to... Yeah, I've got to buy another truck anyway and set up my garage and get employees going, but... Come on. Let's go. Now, quickly, I'm going to set that up. So I'm going to go back into truck dealer. I'm going to buy a standard Mac. Select the dealer. Yes. Right. I'm just going to buy that as it is. Oh, isn't that a nice looking truck? Oh, man. Nice looking truck. Okay, I'm going to purchase that. Oh. Ah. Right, okay. Yes, okay. Let's increase our garage. Garage manager. San Francisco. Upgrade. Yes. That's why we got the extra money. I should still have enough for a truck and a driver, which is what I want to do, and then we can get driving. Right. Yep. So, truck manager. Dealers. Mac. There we go. Let's select the dealer. Yeah, stop giving me all these stupid prompts. If I'm coming here, I want to do it. Purchase that. No. Put it in that garage. It's the only garage there is. Into there, like that. Okay. Okay. Get out of there. Yes, I really want to leave because I pressed the exit button. Recruitment agency. Have I got a recruitment agency? Yes, I got one. Hire a driver. I've got one driver to choose. Well, I guess you're it, Yusuf. And you're going to go there, and you're going to go into there, and you're going to go okay. Okay, right. So I've got one driver, one truck, plus our own. Let's go. Now, job market. External contracts. Let's have a look at that first. Now, like I said, we've got all the DLCs. So we've got everywhere we can go. Now, oh, look at that. We start off with a triple. No, can't do that. We're going from San Francisco. So, San Francisco, price per distance is what we've got set as our best. So, at $70.57 a mile, we've got a trip down to Santa Maria of some furniture, or we've got some used packaging on a very short trip to Santa Cruz. We've got, that's a small trip there too. They're only fairly small trips. So, what do you reckon? So, we've got either the furniture to Santa Maria, or any of these ones. So you just need to tell me which one you want to do. They're no good. Right. So I think really it's only the ones on this page. So it's furniture. First one. Yeah, I agree. Let's go. We'll just do the first one. In fact, I should have checked the other loads, the freight market as well. But anyway, we'll just do this one. We'll get in and get it done. Got to pay off some of that loan. Right. Anyway, so if you're not already aware, I know Dave is aware, I know Tunic's aware. Been very, very busy with work, in no uncertain terms. And why is my steering wheel so delayed? That's a bit of a problem. Right, hang on. That's not good. Yeah, that's right. Well, what was it? Let's just run that. Okay, there's a problem with my steering wheel. Two secs, I've just chucked it back into another port. Right, joy throttle. That's better. Brake. Right, next, finish. Right. That was very weird. Very, very weird. That's better. It was very delayed, like as if it was taking 30-40 seconds to get it out. Anyway, we're right now. We can go. All right. Wait for traffic to clear. Or we just make a run for it. Over the gutter. That's all right. All right. No, it was. I don't know. There was something about it that just was not right at all. I got to set up my view and everything too. All right, let's go. Let's get this done. All right. So yes, now, as I was saying before, I got really interrupted by steering wheel not working. As Dave is aware, and I know Tunic's aware, I've been very, very busy with real life and work in particular. Now, as it turned out, we over Christmas, and this is the reason why I haven't been on YouTube. So let's rewind a little bit. I haven't been on YouTube because basically, leading up to Christmas, I became extremely busy. I was doing 16, 18-hour days, working weekends, and all that sort of stuff over Christmas. I only had the public holidays off, didn't have any leave, and working to do a big project deliverable. Anyway, so all that was finished, and then when we finished doing that, or in the middle of doing that, I was also running lead on changing our yellow light. If it's yellow, just go faster. I was managing the moving from one office to another for our company, or for our division of our company, and so that was on top of that, and so it just got very, very, very busy. And it still got very, very busy all the way through January, February, and March. Anyway, so in that time as well, starting in the new year, we also restructured the company, or this particular section of the country in Asia Pacific region. And so a whole pile of things changed. And in that restructure, there were new positions on that stuff. And I was encouraged by one of the directors to apply for one of the roles of one of the leads. And I duly did so because I figured, well, I had nothing to lose anyway. And anyway, I had the job interview. I'm fast forwarding a lot of stuff here. I had the job interview the weekend, the Thursday before Easter, and then the Tuesday following Easter, I was made aware that I was successful as an applicant, and that I was going to be offered the position. I just had to wait for all the paperwork and the HR stuff to be done. And anyway, that has been completed as of yesterday afternoon. So as of yesterday afternoon, I was formally promoted into the new position, and yeah, so that just means I've got more work to do. But yeah, so it's been a very busy year, and particularly the last 6-7 months, and that's why basically YouTube had to take a second string seat. In fact, it was even worse than that. It was I just couldn't do YouTube. I didn't have the time to sit down, record, edit, and all that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, something had to give, and that was YouTube. That's why we ended up starting up on Twitch and doing more on Twitch, because it was much easier to, at short notice, just go and live stream. So we've been doing a fair bit on Twitch recently, and feel free to come over and follow us if you're not already following us on Twitch. Because we're going to be over there, not as much. I'm actually going to try and concentrate all my streaming, or most of my streaming and content delivery here on YouTube. I'm not going to worry about Twitch too much. I will still use Twitch, but yeah, it's going to be. I'm going to try and keep most of the stuff on here, so that includes like live streaming and stuff like that. There will still be stuff I do on Twitch, but not as much. Anyway, so all that aside, so we formally started the position, so that means that I've got a lot of work to do there as well, which is good. But yeah, hopefully things will start to sort of settle down a bit and we can get back in more of a routine. So there will be more content coming here on YouTube, both live streaming and videos, but it will just take some time to get back into that. So yeah, that's the short and the tall of it, of where we've been and why we haven't been here on YouTube, and I do apologize for that, but as you can probably understand, real life comes first, and even the last couple of weekends it's been a bit difficult. Now normally I will be streaming on Friday nights, Sunday morning, or that's what I was normally doing, sorry, Saturdays and Sunday mornings. that all changes now we're back in the football season, because both now my son plays football, as most of you probably already know, and now also my daughter's playing. So we not only have Saturday morning football, we also have Sunday morning football and possibly Sunday afternoon football. So that means we're going to be a little bit more flexible with our schedule. There's not going to be a firm schedule. I don't think I'm going to have trouble doing that. But definitely the Friday evenings and probably Saturday, Sunday evenings are probably more likely to be more solid. And I'm going to try and flick in one or two during the week, like Wednesday evenings or something like that. But we'll just have to play that by ear. So yeah, but anyway, so I hope you'll join us. But if you want, please go over and join us on Twitch. Over on Twitch at the moment, we do have a giveaway as well for our followers. Once we get to 100 followers, we are giving away to 3 of our followers that are chosen at random a copy of either Valheim or the Dyson Sphere program. 2 games that we've been exploring over on Twitch, and we'll continue to do so. So yeah, other than that, you can always stay here with us on YouTube as well. So yeah, but what I'd like to do as well is, I know may not be so many people watching this, and I'm going to get another subject that probably may put some people off, but anyway, I'd like to thank all those people. We're at 1,400 followers. I'd like to thank all those guys that follow us here on YouTube that have stayed the course and haven't left. May not watch all my videos or whatever else, but the fact you're still here is amazing, and I thank you very much for that. It is appreciated, and I'll try and repay your loyalty by getting some more stuff out there. So we're on the road to 2,000. I'm not going to worry about exploring the 1,500. I know I will. We're on the road to 1,500, then 2,000. But we'll get there, maybe. So it just makes more sense for me to be on YouTube more so than Twitch, because I've got an existing audience here, and we're going to get going. Right, so. Alright, any questions while I'm driving this part now, before we go to the next subject matter? I was going to wait for JJ to turn up to go on the next subject matter, but he's not here. Alright, so let's get one thing out of the road as well. Another thing. I know most of my subscribers have come here from FS17, FS19. I have not played FS17, or actually no, that's not true. I haven't played FS19 for about 6 months. The game gave me the absolute shits. Giants and their QA and level of professional courtesy, I guess, to their customers and their broader base of followers irritated me, and I was just at the point where I was playing FS19 purely not from a fact of enjoyment, but just purely because I felt the need that I had to do it for you guys. Now, that is never, for a content provider, never going to be something you can sustain. Well, some people can and have sustained it to the detriment of their channel or their own livelihood. I'm not one to do that. I will play a game that I enjoy to play, and I'll bring it to you. I will not continue to play a game that I'm not enjoying and bring it to you just for the sake of bringing it. Now, so I made a decision, and that was partly at the same time of dropping off YouTube because of real life reasons, but I made a decision that I wasn't going to go back to FS19 video or streaming. Now, obviously the news has hit in the last 48 hours for FS 2022. So I guess one of the big questions that some of you may be thinking, the majority probably won't because you'll be off watching Daggerwin or someone else like that, or even our good friend Frithgar. The question will be, well, is Duck going to go back to 2022? The short answer to it is yes, he will. However, I will not be caught out by pre-ordering at this stage. I may buy it the day before release, so as then I've got the game on release, and I'll bring you videos on it. and I will definitely live stream it. However, what I won't do is I won't sit back and just take Giant's word for it. I also won't just expect that all the lovely speak and rhetoric that Giants have currently put out ready for 2022, I won't believe a pinch of salt, a pinch of that at all. Not one little bit until I actually see it. Now, we've spoken about this at length. I'm not going to get into a diatribe and a rant here about Giants. However, I did just want to clear it straight away because obviously the news is out there. We will be going to FS 2022. There is no doubt about that. I am going to do that because I think my viewer base deserves that. How long I stay with it is entirely determined by Giants and what they do with 2022. So that is what we'll do with that. Now, I am going to put a video out in the next probably week or so and talk about FS22. You may have seen there's a couple of people already that have put videos out. So Giants have put out a 20-second teaser video, and there are some people that have got a 25-minute video out based on that 20-second of teasers and the press release they put out. I'm going to wait till there's probably a little bit more substance. Actually, I'm not going to go straight out and just say, "Oh, this is great. Look at this," all that sort of stuff. What they've promised sounds okay, but to be perfectly honest, and this will cut to the bullshit, through the bullshit, screenshots they posted doesn't show any improvement to me. And obviously it must be very early because actually I think their models of the tractors, particularly the screenshot with the John Deere, is actually worse than FS19 and FS17. So I hope that's an early production screenshot. But yeah, not holding out. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll get the game and I'll play it. I hope they don't screw it up as badly as what they did with FS19. Like, for instance, Giants, please make sure that every vehicle can be refueled. Also, make sure that you have full support for the steering wheels that you currently have on offer in FS19. Because if you don't, that'll be enough for me not to go back to it ever after that. Anyway, so that's it. So there we go. I've got the other way. I'm getting to the point where I want to go on and rant about it, but I'm not going to. I'm hoping that Giants leaving focus is going to be for their betterment, and I'm hoping that the release date currently set is not set in stone so much that if they get close to release and they realize they need to delay it, they delay it, because I firmly believe the fault of the early release of FS19, which was way too early, is primarily based on focus and their money grabbing hunger. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, enough of that. Right, so where are we now? What have we got? We got 84 mile to go. I'll put you all to sleep now. Feel free to offer your thoughts as well. If your thoughts differ to mine. Now I know Canadian still plays FS. I don't know if Dave does. Let me know your thoughts below. I'll be interested to know. Talking about ATS and ETS. Geez, this truck doesn't know where it's going, does it? SCS Software are continuing to bring out the he doesn't know what he's doing. The DLCs for this wonderful game and just improving it day in, day out. I've said that over on the ATS streams. And what's the next one coming for this one? There's Wyoming. I think Wyoming is the next one for ATS. I can't remember now. And there's two in production. And the same with ETS2. There's two expansions coming out, even though they've just released one now. They've just released Iberia, so Spain and Portugal. That's what we've been exploring over on Twitch. The VODs are available here on YouTube, by the way. Yes, they are long, but they are streams too. So I'm not going to cut the streams up into smaller stream segments. I'm going to try and limit them to probably about 2 hours. I'm not going to do huge 4-hour ones. What I might do is if I'm going to go an extended stream like that, particularly for YouTube, I'll cut it off after about 2 hours. I mean, that way you can I mean, you can always come back and watch a bit and then watch a bit later and all that sort of stuff. But I'm conscious of the fact that no one's going to necessarily sit there for 4 hours watching a YouTube playback. So, anyway. All right. So continue on down the road. 50 mile to go. What's going on here? Oh, what's going on? What's the hold up? Blow the horn, get him to get a bit of a move on. Sure, you got a wall of text. How am I supposed to glance over that without running into the bloody wall? Now, let me get to it. I think Giants needs to delete everything they have and take 3 years and completely rebuild the game to the best of computers' abilities with full everything support, top of the line of everything. Look, I don't necessarily disagree in that I don't disagree with that to a level. Jimbo JM, is that you, JJ? I don't know if that's Joe or not. Jimbo JM, hello. I don't think it is JJ. How are you, Jimbo? Sorry, I may have confused you with someone else I know. Oh dear. You're almost like Canadian Tuning because he's got like 17,000 different names. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Tunic. I think taking 3 years off is a bit much at this stage. They've had 2 years of development at least now. Now they've said they're using Giants Engine 9. Is that the same engine they had for 19? I can't remember if, or is it? I don't think it's a new engine. I think it's the FS19 engine. So really, all they've got to do is the models, the crops, and all that sort of stuff. Now they've said they're going to have new crops. It is JJ. Okay. I thought it might have been. They said they're going to have new crops. They've got seasons, basically, obviously. Hi. Wrong account. Who's hi? Anyway, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, what was I going to say? And we're speeding. I haven't set my cruise control up. Yeah, I don't think. Don't miss the off ramp here. I don't think going back and restarting entirely is going to be helpful. I just want to make sure that what they do is ready. They've had time to develop now, and if it's the same engine as 19, well, they've got the engine there ready to go. I just would like them to make sure that they don't put anything out, the game out, when it's obviously not ready to go in public release. So I can't see them. I reckon, personally, from what I've seen so far, I reckon the only thing I just go around and watch streams. Nice. Well, welcome to my stream. What was I going to say? Yeah, I would like to think that, well, sorry, let's start again. From what I've seen and what I've interpreted, I think FS 2022, sorry, or 22, I should say, is effectively FS 19 with new crops and seasons built in. That's the way I'm looking at it. I don't see it being a totally remade game. I think it's all baked on the back end of 19. And I think that's basically where we are with it. I don't see it being a brand new thing. So I would I would expect that this is going to be much like the transition. That this one will be a much better transition than what we had with 17 to 19. I think they did too much, and their time to get it done wasn't. Where's my flag? I can't see a bloody red flag. Yeah, I don't think they've. I don't think they had the development time they really needed for 19, and I think that showed. They claimed to have added a bunch of video things. Video things as in what? I know they've claimed the AI is better. I mean, hell, it couldn't be any worse, surely. There's no red. Oh, there it is. There's no red flag showing. Yeah. So look, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here. It's not going to be an FS 2022 or FS 22 video or stream. But DirectX 12. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to say, but DirectX 12 is basically effectively a must-have nowadays. As a minimum, they should be looking at having DirectX 12 or Vulkan. So yeah. But anyway, here's what it is. All right, excellent. Our first job was an excellent. Righto. How much money we make? 17,000. That pays our loan for the day. Right, continue. New upgrades available. Okay, let's go back. We'll get another job. You reckon? What are we at? How long have we been here for? 48 minutes. Let's get another job done. Right. Oh, look, it is. It is. I mean, anyway. Here's what it is, I guess. Right, let's have a look. What do we got? So, this is for the normal trips, normal job market. Back up to California, up to Los Angeles, over to Bakersfield. Some smaller jobs there. Let's have a look at external contracts. See if there's anything decent here to do. We have on there to Huron, out to Oxnard. There's a set of triples there to Oxnard. I think I'll keep it pretty much on the first page. I think that's pretty much the ones that are going to be most profitable for us. So is there anything here that strikes you fancy? Viewer's choice. Remember, you get to tell me which one we're going to take. Anyone? I would say triples. Okay, triples it is. No mucking about. Let's get into it. No, too late. Too slow tuning. Right. Ah, dear. Right. Let's go around here and see if we can find a way out. Should be able to drive around this way. No. No. Right. They also need to rework the physics, especially when it comes to forestry and the way vehicles act on the roads versus in the fields. That's probably unrealistic for giants to do in half a year. Well, that I don't argue with, in the fact that they need to do it. The problem with it is they have been very clear that even though the game is called Farming Sim, it's not really Farming Sim. It's a farming game. That that's what it's evolved into, and that's what they are evolving it into, and certainly I expect nothing less from 22. They are going away from it being a true farming sim game, and making it so it's more easily compatible and easier to run with I'm speaking again, with consoles. Now, there's always been the master race discussion, all that sort of stuff, and all that sort of stuff. But the end of the day is they're dumbing it down. It's not going to be a simulator where you need to have a good PC to run it and you've got all the options, all that sort of stuff. That's not the case. That's not what they're doing. And that's why a lot of those sorts of things, that the finessing and the real detail and all that sort of stuff will be lacking, because you can't necessarily go to that same level of detail with consoles and console play. And that's the unfortunate part of it. So, yeah, while I agree with you, there's a lot of that they won't implement because it's not Farming Simulator. It's Farming Game 2022 or 22. All right. Hi says, I used to play American Truck Simulator, but it kept crashing, so I stopped playing it. Yeah, I've never had much of a problem with it crashing. And certainly the later versions of it, I've never had too much in the way of crashing. So maybe give it another go, mate. The graphics engine, all that's been updated, so it may well play better for you now. Unless, of course, you're playing on a bit of a potato PC and it wasn't capable of running it. But I mean, the specs on this aren't that heavy. So yeah, give it another go. That would be my suggestion. I mean, the wonderful thing about the ATS and ETS too, because they've got such good support. Hey, good job, Yusuf. You're making some money for me. The good thing about SCS software, I'm gonna play it on Saturday. Yeah, good idea. Is they are continuing to support games that are coming up. Well, ETS 2 is coming up to 10 years old, and ATS is 6-7 years old. Hey, here's Jimmy J. You've missed all the diatribe, Jimmy, and the rant. Anyway, yeah, so they've done a lot of work, and they continue to do a lot of work with the DLCs and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, jump in and give it another go, and you might be surprised. It might work nice and smoothly for you now. You can jump into the stream chat if you wish to, JJ. You're more than welcome. Anyway, yeah. So we've had a bit of a chat about Farming Sim 22 and some other stuff. So but yeah, so we're on our second job. We're now heading down to Oxnard with a set of triples on the back. We've got our truck. We've got our first employee with their truck. So we took out I'll do a bit of a recap. So basically, first hour in, effectively. We started off at level 5. And my dog just was with me. Okay. So we've started out. We've got a $500,000 loan from the bank. We bought ourselves a new Western Star. That's what the viewers chose to do. So we've got the Western Star. What is the 49X day cab? So we're starting off with this as our base truck. We then also bought an extension to our garage, and we bought a base Mack truck, and we bought or hired a employee to drive that. So we've got a 2 employee company up and running now, and yeah, we're in day 1 still, which is good. So we'll head down to Oxnard with the triples and see how that goes. What view would you prefer, guys? Do you prefer the view from the cab, or would you prefer the view from the bumper? Let me know. Also, I've spoken about to my Twitch channel, but don't forget, go check out Jimmy's Twitch channel as well, Jimmy JJ Live. He streams every day because he has no life. I mean, because he can. Yeah, go check him out and support JJ. DC Dave says cab. There's one vote for cab, so we'll stay in cab for the moment. Canadian Tunic prefers cab. Well, there's 2 votes. That'll mean we'll probably stay in cab then. Oh, right. Let's go. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Up the hill. Right, what else is there to talk about? We've talked about dodgy companies, and we've talked about... Hey! What happened with chat then?
That's the best thing I hear. As soon as I get into voice chat, they say I talk about dodgy companies.
Timing was perfect, wasn't it? Hello, JJ. This is JJ, by the way, guys. He's joined me in stream. I don't open up stream chat for everyone for obvious reasons, but JJ is my go-to online bestie. Yeah.
Enjoys having no life.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to go back there again. Just a one-off tag. That'd be enough.
Yeah, just because it's true doesn't mean you need to stay.
Well, this is true. But anyway, hang on. Let's catch up on chat, because my chat just did a funky thing. It jumped up, then jumped all the way down again. I don't want to run into those. DC Dave says every day but Wednesday. And any other. Dave, it's not a JJ advertising stream. What do you think this is? Yeah. Are you on bloody JJ's payroll now? Bloody hell. Canadian Tunic says ATS to Finland expansion just for Ducky. No, even if we did get the expansion for Finland in ATS 2, we are never, ever, ever going back to Finland. Well, it helps if I put my foot in the accelerator, doesn't it? Yes, we are. No, that's just not happening. Anyway, how? Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was watching and partly listening while I was. I knew that as a good brother, I managed to con him to buy it, spending $200 more.
All right. If forgetting about triples on the back, I haven't been watching the back end to make sure I'm giving myself enough clearance. Well, they're only short triples. It's not like an Aussie road train or anything. You said that in ETS too. I'd love to see. Can barely hear Jimmy. All right. I don't know how I'm going to fix that actually. How am I going to hang on? Let me just escape.
Actually, Dave, was that said in unhappiness or joy, by the way? Is that a complaint or you're celebrating?
All right. Speak now, Jimmy. See if they can hear any better.
Oh, well, actually, I realised that I turned my Discord input down the other day. There might be a reason why. Input volume. I'm trying to hide my keyboard sounds.
Try again. I both at 186%, so hopefully that may come through a bit better.
And I'll sneakily turn it back up to 100% and blare everyone's ears off.
Yeah. Can you hear me any better now, Dave? Let me know. All right. Sorry, just cut out there. The wife's heading out, so she's just telling me where she's going. All right. Yeah, he good. He good. Okay. Fine. Apparently you're good now, JJ.
Excellent.
Oh, you're gonna brake check me, aren't you? You bastard. BP employ the worst drivers around the world. I'm sure of it. He's out in the car, Chloe. You better be quick. Okay. Freeway ends a quarter mile. Well, how far are we going to go? Oh, we're almost there. Shit, that was quick. Yeah, I'm thinking we've still got miles to go. Oh, you bastards. It's still light out. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, look at that perfect turning. No comment necessary. Shut up. No comment necessary.
No, I was just saying, I heard it, and then just as I was going to say, and you said that no comment is exactly when it turned up on my screen.
Yeah, because you're hearing me live, but then you're seeing it delayed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Nice. Hey, have you got that pack that you've got with ATS in here? Does he do the same thing with all the accessories and stuff?
No, there's a different pack, but I haven't found Cecil's pack in here, no.
No, it's a shame because you could have put one of those passengers on the side and pretend that's me, and every time you talk to me, you could look to the passenger side.
Well, that's the DLC pack that gives you that. There's a DLC pack. I might do that for the next stream. Yeah, I know, right, Dave? Last minute turning in. All right. Next. Now, is there going to be any jobs down here in Oxnard? Let's have a look. Oxnard. Where are we going to go? Oh, we got a house. To Barstow. Barstow or Barstow? Who knows how Americans pronounce it? Barstow, I reckon. Huge tires. So we got a choice of house construction, huge tires. We can transport some Teslas, some frozen food. So we got 20 grand, 18 grand. Let's have a look at the quick job. No, it's not quick jobs. I want external contracts. Sorry.
I might need to clean my glasses because that first one looked like turkey house construction.
Oh, don't worry, I have that problem too sometimes. These ones here are worth nowhere near as much, so let's go back to the freight market because I'm actually going to be after dollar. Oh, look, we got. Oh no, what is that? Oh, truck chassis. Nice. I'd like to do that one later. I'm not up there, so that's okay. We can't do that one. Right, so it's either turnkey house, huge tires, Tesla, frozen food, or flour. Pronounced as if it was toe. Okay, Barstow. Yeah, okay. The way Americans butcher the English language, it could be anything. It could have been Barstow. House job for Canadian Tunic. Are you asking me if I'm doing the house job, or are you telling me that's what you want me to do?
I'm inclined to agree.
House job?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, house job. You just want to see. The only reason you've chosen the house job though, is you want to see me stuff it up, don't you? That's what it'll be. You want to see me crash it.
Well, let's be honest. No, I won't say that.
No, I won't go to Finland because it takes far too bloody long and I'm never ever going to Finland again. Told you that. Alright, hopefully there's nothing in this lane. Oh, where am I? Ah! I love how those little guide poles do 1% damage when you run over them. And the reality of it is, you wouldn't even feel the bloody things. Anyway, all right. We got lights on. Don't know. Can't tell. Yes, we have. Right. So we're going to doing a house at night. This is going to be fun, isn't it? Oh, and I'm speeding again. Well, slow down. Right. Since you won't go to Finland, I'm neither confirming or denying. I think it's about time we got rid of this truck and bought a real truck. Time to go to a Mac. Or a Kenworth. You have to find a Kenworth dealership.
Or a Volvo.
Nah, I'm not a fan of the big Volvo. I'd much prefer to drive a Mac or a Kenworth.
Go with a Kenworth.
Although I do want to try. There was a new Western Star model added too, wasn't there? One of the most recent. The Cascadia, is that the new model they added to it? Pardon me. Long Nose Pete's where it's at though. Oh, I've missed my turn off, haven't I? I wasn't watching. Alright.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, thanks for that. I just wanted to go through this intersection again, that's what it was. I thought this was a nice looking intersection. Hmm. So what else are we talking about? Let me think.
Well, you're ranting about farming, so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rant about that too much because I'm gonna put a video out on that at some stage in the next week or so. I'll rant about it more there.
Oh, you're gonna do a 25-minute video on video.
No,
from one place to another.
No, I won't do a 25-minute video based on the 20-second video from Giants. No, I will do what we did with like FS19 coming out. We did what do we expect sort of thing. I'll basically elaborate on my thoughts I put out today. We'll have a look at the details of what they've released, and then I'll offer my opinion to that. See, not that it really counts for many people, but we'll see where things go. But I've certainly made the commitment, as I said before. I mean, you may have missed it, JJ, that I will get 22.
Pre-order it, yeah.
But I'm not going to pre-order it. No. I'll probably buy or pre-order it the day before, so I have it on release day. But apart from that, I'm not going to give them any money early or anything else like that. Unless, of course, the pre-order includes a pre-orders only class Xerion or something like that. Then, of course, I will pre-order it just for that one tractor.
They probably will, because they normally have all the previous DLC stuff standard in the game in the next version.
No, well, I see that'll be interesting because I reckon they put so much into 19 brand wise. I mean, okay, let's think about that for a second quickly. They put so much brand stuff into 19. What are they left to add in as a DLC that's not in there already? Versatile, maybe? Is one brand they haven't got in there?
Well,
tractor-wise?
I think what they do is, like, sometimes, is they might do a Coon release again, because what they released in 17 in the DLCs, became standard in this one, but they did that in 15 as well, and then all of a sudden ones that were in 15 became a DLC in 17 as well.
David Brown Tunic said, how big are they? Pre-order John Deere hat just for you, Duck. Don't bother, Dave. Don't bother. I've still got that John Deere hat, actually. I'm happy to send it to... it's an Australian John Deere hat. Happy to send it to someone that wants it.
So what they're saying is they can have more than 400 machines and tools for more than 100 authentic agricultural brands, including new machine categories, will make agriculture and animal husbandry and forestry even more fun than ever.
Is that what they've said?
Statement. Yep, that's what they've got here.
Yeah, I thought David Brown was an older brand. Giants won't go to old brands. They won't do that. They've already said that. They only go for current stuff so they can actually get some legitimacy and get some money off the brands and stuff like that in kind. That's why they let bloody modders do it. How far are you willing to mail it? I'll mail it to bloody Pluto if I have to. Depends how much it costs to mail it. Shouldn't be bugger all. Find this bloody... What was it? Freight market? If you want it, Tunic, you can have it. Just DM me your address and I'll send it off to you at some point. Because it will never, ever, ever go on my head.
Why is there a reporter there just for a transfer?
Oh, they always do it. Haven't you seen that? Same in ATS 2. They always have a reporter there. They have a TV crew.
No.
I'm famous. I mean, that's why they do it. In my own lunchbox. Right, where am I going? Are we going out? All right.
Only because I haven't done one in such a long time, because everywhere I go doesn't have an option for a heavy haul. Even though I look for one.
That's why I need the heavy haul everywhere mod or whatever the hell it's bloody called.
Yeah, I did, and I got rid of that quick smart because my first heavy haul was at my base in Berlin, and I couldn't get it onto the motorway because the off-ramp was too narrow.
We'll be interested in doing this with this truck because this truck is gutless. It has got an engine upgrade, hasn't it? Don't even know what it looks like. It's a bloody cap that has John Deere shit all over it. It's green. Goes on your head. What else do you need to know? You don't know what the thread count or something is on it? How far are we to go? 185 mile. Not too far. Oh, you know what we haven't done? We haven't done our skills. Man. Right, after this trip, we got to go do our skills. Where am I going? This way still. Someone, Jimmy, that's your job. You got to remind me. Got to do our skills after this job. We've got 5 sets of skills that got to be assigned.
Okay. I will do. Just remind me.
Very accurate. Yes, I need to know. Yes, I need to know exactly how many atoms are in it. I'm not even going to talk about anything to do with John Deere at length, that much length. So I'll just start in the shit tin. It's all right. Probably easier. And Probably more more satisfying.
There wouldn't be much atoms in it anyway. The John Deere, after all, not very powerful.
Oh, that's right. Just don't take it near any ignition source because they tend to light up pretty quick. Worst part is you can't see the side of your bloody truck doing these jobs at night. So God, I hope there's nothing coming down here because I am going to run into it. Guaranteed. Hopefully the coppers have done their job. Oh, they did. Good boys. Good boys in blue. All right, so now it gets a bit tighter. Just burn it and record it burning. I could do that, you know. I could. What? Actually, no. No, I've just had an epiphany. So, I've worked out what my intro video is going to be for Farming Simulator 22. A video of a burning John Deere cap. That's a great idea. Right, done.
It is actually. It's a good intro to talk about it.
No, not for talking about it. Anything I do with FS 22 going forward. So all those people that already narc on me about hating John Deere, I'll have even more of them. No, that's it. I got to do that. I'll set that up. I may even do it tomorrow. Take it out the back and light a fire and record it in 4K.
The whole video. Is this FS22 going to be like a John Deere? Perfectly fine when you buy it, but 2 days later it's burnt. Pre-order needs to come with the 30-day money-back guarantee. So confident.
Are you gonna need that long? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe a 5-day guarantee.
It's going to take me 28 days to even get over the fear of starting it up.
I mean, that's where Steam have it right, don't they? I mean, you only need 2 hours to determine if the game's shite or not.
Not really. Some games I've played, they haven't started off well, but persisting with it and carrying on to see where it leads, some of them end up being some of the best.
Oh no, but I mean, if you start a game and it's shite out the box, you know it's shite out the box. Like it's either going to be your game or it's not, and if it's got issues, you're going to find out generally very quickly. I mean,
yeah, I suppose, especially with like a farming simulator one, it's not like other games that have got story progressions and stuff like that could end up being really, really good, starting off crap. But with a farming simulator, what you get straight away is what you're going to pretty much get all the way through.
actually, what I'm looking forward to, and I am going to bring it to the channel, is the new Formula 1 game coming out mid-year. F Formula 1 2021. Because it actually has a story mode built into it, so a career mode as well. So much like what they did with FIFA, where you start off with this this average footballer or a good footballer that's trying to make his way, and same thing with Formula 1. You start off as a lowly driver for whatever, then you get a chance to drive. I think you start off with F2, might be F3. You go through the ranks. I reckon that'll be good.
Be back in a sec.
Thanks for the warning. Tunic says you only need about 30 minutes. And 28 of those are going to be spent setting the game up. Yeah, well, can't argue with that. Especially if it's with steering wheels. Like, I mean, it's one thing that STS have always had right, like this, their steering wheel setup and stuff. I mean, it hasn't changed, obviously, but the ability to set up your wheel and that in ATS and ETS2 is just so simple. It's not funny. A lot of games that can learn from how they've done that, because a lot of other games aren't quite as simple or as smooth in setting it up. All right, out the highway we go. So I'll ramp the speed up a bit. We're on cruise control and see what damage we can do. Oh, joy. This will be fun.
I got myself a new game today.
Oh, yeah?
Another one I probably won't end up playing.
My Little Pony.
Remastered.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Bush and Choop Simulator.
Gotta have that rainbow in HD. Yeah, I got another Alien game. It's free on Epic at the moment.
Resurrection. Resurrection?
I can't remember.
It was Resurrection that said was coming soon.
Oh, great. Don't actually tell me. Oh, Isolation.
Oh, Isolation. Okay.
Resurrection might have been the one that was a few months ago that I ended up getting as well. Because I went in and had a look at the free games, and there's a new game coming out you can pre-order, and it looked really interesting. Called Humankind.
I've already got that on pre-order.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a new version of Civ 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was quite intrigued, but I got to a certain bit where it turned me right off, and that was the price.
Yeah, it's not cheap. I got an email saying I could apply to get a preview copy, a press copy of it. So I've emailed the bloke back and asked for it. So I don't know if I'll get it or not, but yeah, it looks really, really good. And I mean, you know, I'm a big Civ fan, so I'm more than happy to give it a go. But
yeah, so would I, but it's on special, 17% off for $82.16.
Yeah, is it that much?
Mm-hmm. That's New Zealand too. And the thing is,
Oh, so it's only $5 Australian then. Oh, well, that's all right then.
no, most of the games on Steam are cheaper for me than they are for you. Regular price is $98.99.
Yeah.
That's what I find weird though, is the fact that like a lot of Steam games are cheaper for me than they are for you guys in Australia. But yet, like with Ubisoft and that, it's the other way around. How could that be?
It's because Steam get taxed in Australia a lot more. So they pass on that to Australian customers. It's the ubiquitous Australian software tax. It's the reason why we pay double the price for Adobe products, for instance, of what anyone else in the world does.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm surprised that it doesn't also go with like Epic Games and Ubisoft. How come it's not cheaper for me than it is?
Because Ubisoft have a tax off break in Australia because they got a studio in Australia.
Ah, okay.
They got one of their, it's technically an independent studio that they own, that gives them a tax offset. From what I understand, that's the reason. I mean, it's always those stupid little things like, well, why? Same with Blizzard. See, Blizzard used to be cheaper in Australia when Blizzard had a campus here. They had a software campus in, was it Melbourne? I think it was Melbourne. They had. It was again, it was labelled as a third party, but it was like for training up graphic artists and stuff like that. And then when that stopped, they stopped getting the offset, and then all of a sudden the prices went up a bit, which may have also have had something to do with Activision. But I mean, Activision are a bunch of money thieving bloody bastards. Anyway, they're almost as good as Electronic Arts, Activision. Actually, is there any software company we haven't bloody put the piss out of yet today?
Don't know. Bring up a list and we'll go through.
We haven't started with Microsoft yet. I mean, we started on Microsoft.
Not enough years in the life of anybody cover Microsoft.
No, we're not talking about EA. No, don't get me started. No, seriously, I'm not going to get started on EA.
No.
I'm still a bit of a fanboy of Microsoft. Always have been. Some stuff they've done has been a bit ordinary, but I think by and large, though, I've never had too much of a problem with. Apple is a no-go zone. We don't talk about Apple. Apple is for the hipsters and the idiots that just don't know what they're doing. Apple is technology for dummies. And it's overpriced. And nowhere near as good as what people think it is.
Not anymore.
Well, it never was. I mean, you go back 20, probably not that far. Say 10, 15 years ago, and yes, I will agree there. What was it there? Was it the G3? Something like that? Their top-end desktop PC they made, which was like $10,000 to buy, plus Final Cut Pro, was the best video editing suite and hardware combination you could have. Well, not anymore.
I mean, originally when they first came out, and the reason why PC became more popular is because Apple was all around better, but the problem was they had better parts, better everything, but the problem was they were expensive. And then, like everything they came up with, you had to pay a royalty for, you know, if you had like their sound card or whatever. And then you got, years ago, you had HP come out and they invented PCI and then made it free. And that's why PCs became a lot cheaper. But you had SCSI way back then with Apple and stuff like that. And they were less likely to crap out on you. The problem was it was the expense, but now they've gone just cheap. And the operating systems are just on the phones.
Well, I'll argue the point about hardware being better because it was no better. I mean, in part of the logistics analysis stuff we did way back when they were putting all their products out, we were doing analysis on all their hardware. Their hardware was never any better than anyone else's, like the standard PC stuff. It was never any better. In fact, it was actually worse. From a mean time failure perspective, their power supplies and filters and everything in power supplies was far worse than the rest of the industry. So that's why any time Defence had any Apple items with them, we always gave them an extra 2 or 3 power supplies as spares because they're just not reliable and all that sort of stuff. So from an engineering perspective, they definitely weren't. And the fact that you could, what was the video card? I had a mate of mine that had an Apple. And I had a PC, and a new graphics card came out, and the new graphics card at the time was like about $800 to buy Australian for the PC, and for basically exactly the same card, but just to put it in an Apple, it was $2,500, and it was no different. The specs on it were no different. You wasn't going to get any better performance out of it, but just because the fact it had Apple on it, you paid the absolute premium. And it's the same as the vehicle industry. So it's the same as so let's talk. It's changed a little bit again now because of changing hands, but let's talk Jaguar and Ford as one of the more recent ones. So the latest versions of the Jags had Ford components in them, rebadged as Jag, because they were owned by the same company. But you could go, and instead of replacing the oil filter, for instance, on the Jaguar with a Jaguar one, which cost you, say, $100 for the sake of the argument, just as spitballing a price, you could go and spend $30 on the Ford one, and it's exactly the same one. It's the same with Nissan. So, like with my car, the All Grand, I can go and buy most of the engine parts from the Navara of the same year. Or I can go and buy the Toyota. I can't remember the model of the car, but it didn't come to Australia, but it was a Toyota that was produced that used the same engine parts as what the Nissan did. So there's always been that cross-pollination, and I mean the markup on the pricing. So I mean you're always going to have that, but Apple is just Apple have proven they're just in it for the money, and they prey on. I'm not going to go down that line. I'm going to recant that. I'm just going to leave it there. But Apple are not a very good company as a global citizen. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want my house to be firebombed.
There's also good PR, because that's interesting that you say that, because when I did my A+ certification, that's what we were told and taught about Apple being better quality, and the reason why they didn't take off.
I can scientifically and engineering guarantee you that for a long period of time they definitely were not the superior product, even though they did say they were. I can't comment on what they are now because I haven't done any LSA analysis on any of their products in recent years, but so actually, in fact, I can tell you one of the best companies in regards to engineering practice and reliability is actually Hewlett Packard. We do a lot of analysis on Hewlett Packard laptops and competitors and stuff like that, and almost every time the best result comes from HP, which has surprised me. I always thought the HP were a bit of a dodgy and all that sort of stuff, but over the last couple of years I've become very enamored and surprised with HP, and HP is a company that I will certainly go and buy my next laptop from, and that's what I'm planning on doing.
Oh, you could have told me that before I told my sister what to buy.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Dell's another one, actually. Dell's another one that's improved a lot, but they're still not preferred from a defense engineering type point of view, but anyway. All right, so we have 6 skill points to assign. Let's have a quick look at chat, because I've been rambling and driving.
You got 6 skills to choose from. I'll be back in a second.
That's right, indeed. All right. DC Dave says, only getting worse with their fancy powerful new processors. Yes, agree. I've never had a good HP PC. They've all been garbage. Look, I had a HP laptop when I was still in the Navy, and it wasn't an ultra high end. I actually bought it in Dubai. That laptop was the most rugged and best endured laptop I've ever had. I dropped it down ladder bays. Now, if you know what a ladder bay is on a warship, it's a very steep set of stairs as a ladder, and they're all made of steel or aluminium. And that thing I dropped on a number of occasions, so it would go between a deck and it'd go bang, 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 and then land on the steel deck of the ship. Not a scratch on it. Oh, there was a dent on it at one point, but didn't crack the screen, didn't damage it, kept on working. And I had that thing for about... in fact, I've still got it. I've still got it and it still works. It's just the battery charging circuit doesn't work, so it has to run off a power plug. And that was a fantastic machine. It really was. Anyway, all right, let's get into this because we're just going to be drawing. It's going to be the Ducks Orleys chat YouTube. The wife went through 3 of them and had friends go through several too. I've used a Apple computer once, and 5 documents, wipe part of the hard drive, and make it crash, or just try and install a program. Yeah, I mean, look, the other thing is too, you got to remember. The other thing is, it depends on what level of laptop you're buying too. Like if you're buying one of the lower end ones, you get what you pay for. I mean, I'm not talking about the ones that we look at are the most expensive. They're probably mid to higher range. But if you buy one of their mid to higher range laptops, generally, I would say hand on heart that you'll get a good product. That's just from an engineering perspective. I mean, then on top of that, you then got things like the software and stuff like that. That's another matter altogether because we don't analyze the software at all. Ours is just purely the analytics is done on the components of the laptop. So the motherboard. Anything can be added or removed from the laptop. So be the CPU, the laptop itself, power supply, the battery, the charging circuit boards like that. So yeah, but anyway. All right, let's go. What are we going to do? We've got 6 points. We've got 6 areas we can put them in, as JJ said. Where are we going to put our first point? Well, first 2 points. Where are we going to put? We're going to do it in groups of 2. 2 points. Where are we going to put them?
High value.
Long distance, high value. There's 2. So what you want to do, or you want to do one of each? JJ. I've put 4 in.
2. Yeah, no, do it like that because those 2 I find give you the best options for making more cash. And because with the longer distance, I think you get more XP too. So
well, let's just do it this way. Let's just go like that. Canadian Tuning says high value, so let's just split the 6 points among long distance and high value cargo. So that's going to give us long distance. Will give us deliveries up to 1,000 mile, 15% higher reward for delivery distances longer than 650 mile. And then high value cargo will give us 15% higher reward, a 5% increase on top of the last one for a high value delivery. As this cargo, we can start doing them a little bit later. We'll just apply that. All right, what do we got?
Is that 15% on top of the 10% on top of the 5%?
No,
so
no, it's 5% increase. No. So
bad advertising.
No, it does say that though. Right, so it says here. So rank 1, you get a 5% higher reward. Rank 2, you get 10%, so that's a 5% increase. So 15% is a 5% increase on that. So each step is going up by 5%.
Oh yeah, right. So and broke it. Okay.
Yep. All right, next job. Let's go. What are we at? I can't see my time. Hang on. Let me just get my streaming software back up. Right.
100 minutes ago you started. That's what you're talking about.
140, yes. 140 we're on. Yeah. Okay. All right. So where are we? Barstow. So we've got a frac tank, we've got cables, we've got mortar, we've got used packaging, and we've got lumber. So that's for our normal freight contracts. So it's going back the way we came, isn't it? Oh, that goes into Arizona. That one's not too bad. Let's have a look at external contracts. All right, from Barstow, what have we got? So we've got a lumber job that goes to Boise. Boise, oh Jesus Christ. That's a long job. What's that one? 835 mile. We have a log harvester, which is going over to New Mexico. That's a 925 mile job. That's why you get so much cash. 119,000 for the lumber. 109,000 for the log harvester. Heavy bulldozer goes over to Arizona. That's pretty good. We got a choice of places to go. So we've got either Idaho, New Mexico, Arizona, or stay in California. Over to you guys.
What country are you going for?
Oh, look, whatever I've got to do to finish the job. So if I end up doing this job, then probably that job, and then we'll see where we finish from there. But that would probably be it.
See, Idaho. My choice, only because I like it up there.
Well, Dave said, "Oh, there we go. That's been made. Decision's been made. Let's go. We'll do this. This will probably be the last trip for this stream."
Yep. Dave, put the jug on. We're coming.
Yep. I expect a 3-course meal with all drinks supplied.
Meal. Here you go. Here's your bread, your peanut butter, and your jelly.
You'd be lucky to get that. Come on over, have ice cream. Yeah, I've got... it's alright. Right. So, off to Idaho.
Always makes me cringe when I hear that. Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, yeah.
Think of jelly as jelly.
Well, see, the funny... Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say exactly the same thing. When I was growing up, and you see on TV, I'll have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You're like sitting there going, why the hell would you idiots have peanut butter, which is generally salty, and then have a really sweet sugar dessert on top of it? It's like, are you guys idiots? And like, as soon as you put it on the bread, it'll start melting, and then it'll just be liquid. It's like, what are you doing? And then it wasn't, I don't know when it was, I found out, someone told me it's actually jam. It's like, right. Okay, that makes a bit of a difference. But anyway, still, why would you do it?
Yeah, it took me years to find out that. I've always heard it on TV and stuff like that, and jelly is go, okay. I just brushed it off eventually, and then, I might have been in my teenage years before.
I'm going to force you guys to give way to me. Stop. All right. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's just one. It's those things though, isn't it? It's like Americans with Australians. Like, so when they did the Australian ads with Paul Hogan, throw a shrimp on the barbie. Well, back then, really, most Australians never threw prawns on a barbecue, and we never called them shrimp. We call them prawns.
Shrimps and prawns are different.
Yes and no. The concept of them is the same. I mean, the Yanks call them a shrimp, we call them a prawn. The same basic size and quantity. But anyway,
shrimp's different here to a prawn.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Lobster
So
and crayfish, they're essentially the same.
Well, that's right here in Australia too. You have a shrimp, which is a very small prawn. Like minuscule type thing, using the bloody smallest or Chinese desserts and stuff, or Chinese rice and stuff. But a prawn is a prawn. The prawn is like you actually have a mouthful of prawn. Yeah, effectively, tuning. That's exactly what they are. So the prawn is your large shrimp. Anyway, so most Americans after those ads hit, made the two and two together, and they made the assumption that most Australians put prawns on their barbie, and it's like, well, it's only been recent years that Australians have actually started being a little bit more cultured, arguably, in doing that. But I know I certainly only up until like the last few years would have ever considered putting anything other than meat on a barbecue. Like even fish, you wouldn't generally put fish on a barbecue. It's like, no, it's reserved for meat. It's sausages, burgers, and steak. That's all you put on a barbecue.
You never put fish on a barbecue.
No, not been. I mean, some people have done it. I mean, obviously, but it's certainly not something that most Aussies would do. It's just, it's for meat. Barbecue is just meat.
If fish as meat.
No, I know, but it's just red meat. It's just good Aussie red meat.
What? No pork, no chicken.
Yeah, you
no
put
barbecue
no, you
chicken,
put
no barbecue pork.
the primary is red meat. Oh, wrong bloody. But anyway, we're digressing. Get this load. But yes, I mean, traditional barbecue, you would put your standard meats. So you'd put your beef, pork, and then chicken. I'm going to get through there. Just. All right, here we go. 835 mile to go. Yeah, that's right, Dave. Beef, pork, and chicken. But I mean, that's one. I mean, that's just the example. I mean, it's like probably most people think of talk of go back a few years. When you talk about the French, you think it. The common generalisation was the French just basically eat snails and bloody frog legs. So, and you don't eat any of this lab-grown burger stuff. Oh no! Bugger that vegan shit. Yeah, it has to be real meat. The best go-to is a funny story I'll tell you about. When my wife and I were getting married, we went to the reception place where we were having the reception, and we were talking with the planner, and he gave us these menus to choose from, and I'm like, have you got any proper food? I was like, all these little fancy meals. And I mean, I've got my family. I grew up with, my family was very plain. My mum basically just eats and enjoys steak and 3 veg. You're gonna sandwich me out? Get out of there! Oh, you bastard! Yes. So steak and 3 veg is her go-to meal, and that was what we had growing up. Like, it wasn't, I mean, occasionally we'd have some fish and stuff like that, but her primary go-to was steak and 3 veg, right? Or like sausage 3 veg, like just very plain basic meals. None of this bloody hollandaise sauce and Chinese sauces and all that sort of stuff. Like, it was very plain. Anyway, so obviously I then left home at the age of 18. I left my home state and moved to Sydney and joined the Navy. And obviously, while I wasn't living at home, I then got more of a chance to sort of experiment and try with other culinary tastes and stuff like that. Sometimes not by choice, because it was the only thing you were served up in the bloody scran hall in the Navy. But anyway, back with at the wedding reception, I said to this bloke, I said, well, because it was all this fancy stuff and none of it I enjoyed. One of the dishes was chicken with eggplant or something, and I'm like, why the hell would you feed someone eggplant? Anyway, so he said, you're the one getting married, you can have whatever you want. So my wife was actually quite happy with what was on the menu, so she said, no, I'll just have that. And he said, well, what do you want? And I said, so I can have anything I want. He goes, yeah, anything you want. You can have whatever you want. I said, I want a 1 kilo steak, medium, with chips. And he just looked at me and he goes, you want that as your wedding meal? On your wedding night, you want that as at the reception? I said, I want a 1 kilo steak, cooked to medium, with chips. And he goes, would you like a sauce with that? I said, yep, mushroom sauce or barbecue sauce. Mushroom sauce is preference. Anyway, And he said, okay, no worries. And I didn't think any more of it. Anyway, I rocked up after the wedding to the reception place, and everyone else is getting their meals. Because we said basically we wanted the bridal table to have our meals last. We wanted everyone else to start eating before we did. And the next thing you know, this huge plate, and I mean this thing was huge. I think the guy did it just to sort of set the seeds, sort of thing. Came out, and it had one of the, those covers they put on the meals you see in the restaurants, like the fancy restaurants. They have the stainless steel cover over the top of it. Brings it out, puts it in front of me, takes the cover off, and there is this huge whack and great bloody steak sitting on the bloody on a bed of chips, with chips to the side, and gravy, and the mushroom sauce. And I was just like, oh, I was in heaven. And I proceeded to eat the steak and only ate about 3/4 of it.
So did it come with a side order of the cream to get out of the queue after that?
No, but nonetheless, I didn't feel like doing much dancing, or not that I was a dancer anyway, but I certainly didn't feel like doing much dancing of either value later that night. But it was it was a great meal. Oh, I've told people since they went, why would you have that on your wedding night? And I'm like, well, if I'm paying thousands of dollars for my wedding, or my father-in-law paying thousands of dollars for my wedding, I want something I'm going to enjoy. I want to have a meal on the day that's supposed to be special. I want to have a meal that I'm going to enjoy. Like my first marriage, I hate bringing it back up because I regret it every day of it. But anyway, I remember the reception. It was something, I can't even remember what the meal was, and it was back home in my home state. I got married in my home state, and I probably ate 5 bites of it because it just wasn't something I enjoyed. Whereas at least I have very fond memories of if not the wedding, certainly of the reception and the meal I had. So, anyway. So that's my funny. I've just totally taken the chat to another level, another subject line altogether. But
But I get what you mean. So when I go to a restaurant, I order something I can cook at home anyway, and people go, "Why do you do that? You've gone to a restaurant, you can try anything." And I said, "Yes, but I can have a better tasting of something that I can cook at home. It just tastes better."
Well, that's and that's it. I mean, it's like we got friends of ours. They run a restaurant. They opened it up probably 18 months ago, and we've been going there quite regularly. And it's an Italian restaurant. So James is the cook. He's Greek by birth, and he's running an Italian restaurant. He's a fantastic chef, and we go there, and it's like we go this, and he does this great Italian food, and he has his specials and stuff. I'm not a huge pasta fan, but we go to an Italian restaurant. But like he does specials with my top 2 have been a barramundi dish he's done and a tuna dish, and followed by a chicken dish and a steak dish. But that's it. I go there and have that. Yes, it is plain, but the love and the attention given to the food and the way it's prepped and then cooked and then served, that makes a difference. Like I know I got barramundi in the fridge or the freezer that I could cook overnight. I could have a barramundi meal. Right, so for instance, I could do a barramundi meal, put on top some bok choy, which is what he's done with one of his barramundi dishes, and roast a couple of potatoes, and then it'll be the same meal. But I know it won't taste anywhere near as nice as what it does if you got someone else preparing it for you. I'm the same. I'll go and have something that I want to have. I won't go and try something just for the sake of trying it. If I go to a restaurant and I feel, you know what, I just want a steak. I just want a nice piece of meat. That's what I'll order.
Well, I knew 2 people that were a husband and wife that were chefs, and they own one of the top restaurants in Auckland, like the top type where everything's expensive, but it comes with a microscope so you can see with your food on the plate, because it's so tiny. But yet, when you order, I normally got lamb when I went there because I got a cheap price, but it was just even though it was tiny on the plate, it was more plate than meal. It was nicer and yet more filling than if I cooked up a feed at home and filled the plate up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was just more full after that tiny portion on that plate of lamb and then whatever it was that came with it than I would have been if I cooked the proper meal at home.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. But yeah. Anyway, geez, we've digressed, haven't we? Welcome to the Ducks Orley Cooking Channel, where we discover and talk about food.
I'll talk about anything. It's a long trip.
Talking about food, I'm going to have a Jaffa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the pack of Jaffas I got for my birthday.
Yeah, you still got them.
Still got them.
Actually, I've been trying to look for the original ones that we had here. I haven't been able to find them, so I think they might have stopped making them. We only got the Allen's ones.
Hi says back. Welcome back. Sorry about the crunching if you can hear it too, by the way. You might need to sleep soon. Really? Yeah, I might too. Good pickup.
Jeffers
Oh.
are amazing, mate. You're lucky he's only got those brands. He sent me a pack of those a few months ago, didn't you? And they're different to the ones that I used to have when I grew up. They were made by Pascal. And yeah, if he was eating those, all you could hear right now would be just a loud crunch and the breaking of teeth. But they're amazing. They're sort of a hard candy shell with orange flavoured chocolate in the middle.
Yeah, they're take what's the equivalent? Like an M&M. Take an M&M tunic and make it a round solid ball of chocolate. The casing on the outside is a lot harder and thicker than an M&M, and it's orange in flavour.
Actually, M&M peanuts is probably the same size.
Yeah, about the same size. Yeah, physically. Yeah. Hi says, are you from England? Mate, wash your mouth out with soap and water. No, I'm an Aussie, mate. As Tunic just said, I'm an Aussie. I come from the land down under. So g'day, mate. Yeah, I'm an Aussie, and unfortunately, the guy that's on the other end of the microphone with me, JJ, he's a New Zealander, so he likes his fish and chops, and yeah, but we don't hold that against him generally. But yeah, he comes from the land of the white cloud over the other side of the where we are.
Cloud.
Yeah, long, short, whatever.
White cloud, suggesting that it rains all the time.
Yeah, look, when it's compared to Americans, we do sound a bit more like the English. But then you, I didn't hit him. I didn't hit him. I swear, officer, I didn't hit him. Yeah, but then when you put us against, I'm speeding too. Oh, yeah, bugger it, bugger the speeds. Yeah, when you put an Englishman in this chat, you'll tell the difference very quickly. Aussies tend to be generally 1, louder, 2, talk quicker, 3, less obnoxious than a pom, 4, smarter than a pom, and 5, better at cricket than the poms, except for the recent passer. We just won't go there. And in comparison to New Zealanders, we just don't talk about New Zealanders because we hate them. And Aussies are nicer than poms, is that what you're saying, Tunic?
Yeah. They don't talk about us in Australia. Through a standard they can't reach.
Oh. Excuse me while I go off to the side and puke. Of course. No, well, that's right. That's right. I mean, that's why Canadians are such a high... No. I like Canadians. Oh, obviously the dog doesn't. It's all right, Nala. Get them Canadians. Get them. Get them. Go get him. Well, she really doesn't like Canadians. Right. Nala.
Yeah, we say mate after everything.
It looks like a broken euro. They always say. Well, Poms don't say mate that much generally.
Not as much as us. They do
No, no, definitely not.
We just throw it in everywhere, you know, g'day mate, how's it mate?
Oh, mate, yeah.
Mate.
Mate, we got an entire ad campaign over here that all that is people pick up the phone and go, mate. That was an Optus ad series, but yeah, things like mate, cobber, all that sort of stuff. We have a totally different dictionary as well to what the English do. They tend to be a lot more prim proper. Even when they're swearing, they're more prim and proper than what we are.
That's why it's funnier when they do it.
You've done 300 mile already.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've got a lot of similarities, us two.
Can you not say that publicly? Stop! I'll mute you.
I did say unfortunately. I did put that disclaimer in there.
Nah, you can find me. I'm not going in. When they call from somebody, mate, come here, but like 2 feet far from. Yeah, well, I mean, mate's a colloquialism that certainly for Australians is just the second most used word in the Australian dialect. It's everyone's your mate. I mean, if you're not called mate by an Aussie, you've done some very serious bad to them, basically. And it's not restricted to any particular type of person. Like there's no racial undertones or anything to it. It's just everyone's mate. It's just what it is. It's just, yeah. I thought you were going to pull out of me then. It's one of those things. I mean, things like the old Australian terms, like things like cobber and stuff like that, they aren't used as much. I tend to still use cobber here and there. I don't use it all the time. But yeah, it's in fact it's quite telling and a good time to be talking about that, actually, with tomorrow being Anzac Day here. So yeah, it's tomorrow's our day where we reflect on mateship. Those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. But, when they trying to read the chat and drive at the same time is not really a good thing. I need to put the chat box on the actual driving screen. Yeah, but England took over America for like half of the time there was colonists. Well, yeah, but I mean, look, this is where you're getting these stupid arguments about land rights and all this sort of crap. But anyway, look, I mean, ultimately, if the British and the Spanish and all that hadn't have actually gone out all around the world and colonised different parts of the world, and yes, they did wrong by the indigenous cultures and people of whatever they have. If they hadn't have done that, we wouldn't have the world we're in today. You wouldn't have the technology, you wouldn't have the luxuries, you wouldn't have the lifestyle, all that sort of stuff that you enjoy today. So, and for those that in the minority In the Indigenous communities, you wouldn't have all the government payments, the government subsidies, all that sort of stuff. You might still have your land, yes, but you'd still be running around with a bloody loincloth and throwing spears at people. It's a generalisation, but, I mean, we can't live in the past in that regard, though. And, I mean, I'm just saying that because you mentioned about the colonisation, but my opinion of it is, look, we know we did things wrong in the past. There's no point us saying sorry for it per se because we can't go back and change it. We just
didn't do it. It wasn't us.
That's right. And we just take the lessons learnt from what was done wrong in the past, and we make sure we don't do them again, and we move along. And this is the whole problem. I'm going to quickly mention this. And I'm going to go back to another subject matter altogether, but this is where the whole thing with the Black Lives Matter thing gives me the absolute shits. It's not Black Lives Matter. Yes, it's not right that blacks die in custody or whatever else. But they're actually, particularly like if you look at the facts here in Australia, there's more white people die in custody in Australia than what blacks do. So it's not a matter of Black Lives Matter, it's a matter of all lives matter. It doesn't matter what colour you are, what race you are, anything like that. Deaths in custody, if you want to go down that subject line, should not happen at all. And so all lives matter, not just Black Lives Matter. What happened to George Floyd was a terrible thing. And yes, unfortunately, America does have some systemic issues in relation to their policing force but also the culture and all that sort of stuff of us versus them mentality between blacks and whites and all that sort of stuff. All right, so I'm not getting into that, but there are obviously some systemic issues there that do need to be fixed. But it's not everyone, and people just need to take a bit of a step back and go, right, if one cop does something that's wrong or a couple of cops do something that's wrong, fine. They should be addressed, pulled out for what they've done, and appropriate justice served on them under the justice institutions. That's what we need to do. We just need to learn from our mistakes and move forward. I mean, because none of this shit like the Black Lives Matter is actually making it any better or getting us any further forward. It's actually just regressing us back to where we were. People continue to do this, and the press continue to do this and cover this in so much depth. We're going to go backwards, not forwards. But anyway, I'm not going to say any more because I'm just going to keep on going, and it just gets people enraged and all that sort of stuff. But that's my take on it.
Totally.
And if
everything should be judged on a human, not a colour.
Yep, and
in short,
everyone can have their own.
Tunix actually taking that message away, but we asked if Anzac Davis would like Remembrance Day.
I'm going to get back to that in a second. Yeah, I just wanted to digress into this for a second, but I don't want to mix the two conversation topics up. And look, everyone has their own opinions on it, and I respect everyone's opinions. Everyone is well and truly entitled to have their own opinion, and that's what is so important about tomorrow. But as long as we learn from our mistakes, and this is part of life, and I tell my kids the same thing. Don't make the same mistake as what we did in the past. Learn from the mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from the mistakes of our predecessors, and then make things better and move along. There's no point though going back like our Indigenous communities do here, saying, well, the government needs to say sorry for what they did 200 years ago. No, they don't. All they need to do is say that they are sorry that it occurred, and we will make sure that it doesn't happen again, and we improve things so the Indigenous community has a better life and is respected more. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's what needs to happen. Anyway, right, in rant, done, gone. Oh, deep breath. Okay, what Dave said, and what Dave say? I can't read what. Can you read out what Tunic said?
What, who said?
Tunic, yes, from the Yes But.
Yes, but yes, but it's what happened in the past. This is still affecting the natives' lives to this day, especially. Yeah, well, northern tribes of Canada with drugs and alcohol, which when the government tries to help, yeah. I mean, I've got my opinion on that, and as usual, I'm right. But well, the simple matter on that aspect is things happen in the past. That's the way it was. unfortunately. And it's going to be in 100 years' time. People are going to look back at how we live today and go, oh, how did we do that? That was wrong in this, because we're just going to change and evolve, like Doug says. But the problem with that simple thing is when you introduce a culture to a people that didn't live that certain way and then expect them just to instantly adjust with no knowledge of how doing it, you're always going to get problems. It's that simple, because you're going to make a person feel not worthy and stuff like that, and that's when you get your problems like that, because they're trying to find happiness. I'm trying to explain it, and I'm trying to do it quickly because I don't want to yabber on about it. But what I'm saying is for example, like you got the African Americans who were segregated and stuff, and then all of a sudden were allowed to go to schools and everything else like that, but they were expected to live like the Europeans who were brought up that way, know only of that way for 1,000 years, and then you're expecting the culture to instantly adjust with no way of understanding how that works, because they weren't brought up that way. And when you don't help them out, and you see this in every type of culture here or other places that have been taken over by England or wherever in the past, that people, when they generally feel like they're not worthy enough and lose self-worth, they always go down that route, and then the kids grow up seeing that as the norm, and then they go backwards and they go backwards, if you know what I mean. They never go forward, because the only way to fix it, in my opinion, is that you've got to go off and show them, I don't know, maybe I'm too tired to explain it. Carry on, next subject. I'm probably too tired to explain it. But I've thought about it a lot over the years, how a situation like that happens, and I think it's because of different cultures. You can't expect a culture to instantly change their ways when they have no idea how that way works. You can't just look at something and understand something when you're not mentally, your brain's not mentally brought up in that thing, because as from a kid, you see and learn everything, and for some reason you soak it up and you know how it works. But when you're living in a different way, it's like when you go into a different culture, you don't instantly understand why that culture's happening, why they do those things. And half the time you just make a judgment on it and don't go out and find out why and understand it. You know? And because of that, then you get an assumption of why that's happening. Then you make your own judgment on why that's happening. And if you're around that situation, you might feel left out, you know, out of the circle and not part of the group. And people that feel left out and part of the group, it happens all around the world, no matter what. People with mental disabilities and all that, eventually it gets them and they snap. And they snap because they're human. That's what the human does. And the problem is the other people that see this happening make a judgment on them, usually at the cost to making that person make themselves feel better than that person. You know what I mean? It's not about, I don't know that situation, don't know what it is, let me give this person the benefit of the doubt. Let me find out how that person got to that position. No, it's instantly, no, that's wrong, and I'm a better person than you because I'm saying that's wrong.
That's right. Anyway, all right, we'll cross off that subject as being discussed and we'll move along. Yeah. So, yeah, so what moved us into that was tomorrow being Anzac Day. That is long talking, isn't it? We solve all the world's problems here at Duck Solar Gaming. Yeah, so tomorrow is Anzac Day, the 25th of April. So yeah, it's not like someone put up about being like Remembrance Day. It's not Remembrance Day. It is separate to Remembrance Day. It's a day where we look back at basically all that happened in past conflicts. Like, I mean, it originally was formed after the World War, with the Anzacs came back and all that sort of stuff from the campaign of Gallipoli and the From and Europe and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I know. I'm just waiting for a service station to come up. We haven't had one come up. Yeah, so it's a very, very important day for me, being a veteran myself. Also having all members of my family preceding me that served, including 3 of my great uncles who served at Gallipoli. They were some of the original Anzacs that stepped off on day one, and we spend tomorrow giving thanks and all that for those that paid the ultimate sacrifice for defending us as Australians, but also the rest of the world as well, against the tyranny of people doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. And we sort of sit back and reflect on that. So it's a time of reflection for that. Plus all the other men that have served, whether it be like myself that served Afghanistan, Gulf War, East Timor, all that sort of stuff in conflicts and wars. And also reflect on those that are currently serving as well, that continue to serve, and also those that in the future will serve as well. It's very important that we reflect on that. As I've said previously, one of the most proud things I've got with my kids on the 25th here in Australia, so it'll be on your 26th effectively. No, 25th, 24th for you. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, one of the proud things I've got is, and it wasn't something that was taught to my kids to do or anything else like that, but so for instance, my children, anytime they see someone that's in uniform, whether it be a police officer, a fire officer, a member of the military, they will generally always go up and thank them for their service and thank them for protecting us, which is a really good thing for me. It shows that they're not frightened and they respect those that are in those positions, and it's lovely to see. And certainly I know most recently my wife took the kids to the Royal Easter Show, and they went to the police pavilion, and the 2 young girls in particular went up to some of the coppers. They put them on the police bike and got their photos and all that done. They went up to them and said thank you very much for looking after us and protecting us. And that's a lovely thing to see, and it sort of leads on, I guess, from what we said before. But it's a very important day for me. Not so much from my own perspective of what I've served and what I've done, but I've seen the ultimate sacrifice that many people have paid in the past, whether it be my own uncles, whatever else. Also, some of the stuff in the more recent past. It's just a reflection upon what making that at the end of the day. Someone told me the other day, actually, I was at a soccer meeting, and I was talking about the fact that I don't like the hero tag being thrown around lightly, for instance. And then at the end of the conversation, something came up, and they said, well, at the end of the day, because I said I didn't agree with nurses and doctors being called heroes for doing their job, and it was payback to me. It was said that well, when you join the military, you're doing a job, so you're just doing your job. And I took quite significant offence to that, and I got very angry with the person who's a nurse, and I basically said, yeah, but when you originally joined and chose your profession, you didn't do so knowing and thinking that you had the possibility of going to war and fighting and putting your life on the line. And then she's come back and gone, but we put our life on the line all the time. I said, it's a totally different circumstance. And I get her juxtaposition, and I get the whole argument, but to me, and I'm not saying this because I did it, it's got nothing to do with me and my decisions, but to me, the ultimate respect should be given to people that are willing to knowingly sign up for the military and know that there is a possibility at some point in time their country may call on them to go into an action, like it or not, and perform their job of following orders and possibly paying the ultimate sacrifice by laying down their own life for their country and for their service. To me, there is nothing. There's nothing more sanct than that decision to do that. And again, I don't say that. I don't say that signing up to be a police officer is no less important. I mean, but generally when you sign up as a police officer, look, I mean, yeah, you can argue that there shouldn't be as much risk of possibly going to an armed conflict and all that sort of stuff and seeing that. But in my mind, it's different. And after seeing some of the stuff I saw in East Timor, for instance, I can tell you without going into detail, because I can't go into too much detail for operational reasons, but I saw stuff in East Timor that, you dirty little bastard, that was very much akin to what those would have seen in the trenches of Gallipoli and stuff like that. I saw some mass graves, and I had to. Part of my job was to take photos of this, and that included some very young kids and babies. Now the reality of I know I'm sort of drawing on a bit here, but from my perspective, I mean, yes, as a police officer, you might go out and you have to shoot someone, or someone gets shot, or you see a death. It can be a totally different experience. I mean, I know I will never ever forget what I saw. It can't be unseen, and I know that's the same as what many of those diggers did. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, all that sort of stuff, and just the fact that people are willing to sign up and do that, and live with that, is so important to me, and that we show the appropriate respect. And again, I'm not taking anything away from emergency services and stuff like that. They deserve a whole pile of respect, as well as I'm about to go crash on. It's just one of those things that I think there is a separation of it, and I know everyone has different opinions on it, and I respect those opinions, but to me, it's extremely important that we continue to show that respect, and I don't think there's anything more important than showing that respect to veterans, past, present, future.
The most important thing you said there, which ultimately shows, I mean, yeah, there's importance, but there's different levels of importance. And as far as the soldier is concerned, you, by choice, your own choice, going out to lay down your life, that will affect your country, that will benefit your country as a whole, because you're part of, even one soldier is as important part as a battalion. Because a battalion isn't a battalion without all the soldiers there willing to do what they need to do to protect their country, affecting everyone back at home by choosing themselves to sacrifice their lives to do that, so others can live on, or others can live on in a free society, or a better society than taken over by another one, whatever. And yet you can do that as a police. They do the same thing in some countries, just like in America, and that you've got to deal with the prospect of being shot more than most countries when you go out. But that's a possibility more likely to happen in a war to you. But also what you see is another thing. What a soldier sees during wartime, the horror and horrific on a day-to-day time, is a lot more than the police. Now, I can understand that it affects police. I get that. And I also think there's not enough support for police that go through that. It would affect you seeing that, some horrific things that happen, but a soldier sees that day to day while the threat of losing their life is on them at the same time, which has immense effect mentally to anyone. It doesn't matter who you are or what you think you do in that situation. In that situation, I have no doubt that at the end of the day, that's going to have a huge effect. And to be able to do that and then lay your life down, and people have lost their lives, especially in World War I and World War II. ANZAC, for those who don't know, ANZAC stands for Australian New Zealand Army Corps. So it's a joint venture between Australia and New Zealand that was came about in World War I, wasn't it?
Yep.
And there's immense pride in it. It's probably one of the major reasons why, at the end of it, even though Australia and New Zealand's give each other a bit of stick most of the time and and a bit of banter and stuff, but we will back each other up. I think because that Anzac spirit is there, because for a small country like New Zealand, which is proud to have such a huge impact on the world stage, and same with Australia at that time, because we're probably two countries that weren't looked at as being major contributors, but yet, especially in World War II, as far as I know, Duck will be able to clarify this, but in World War II, the Anzacs had some major victories that had a huge impact on the way the war went, to the ending of it. That is not well known. And from what I gather, I've never been there, but there's actually a lot of respect and quite a few statues around Europe to do with the Anzacs. And you don't hear that. You hear about what the English did during World War II and what the Americans did during World War II. You don't see a lot about the Anzacs. But to do that and have a huge impact on the world stage and went off and laid down their lives, not only at that stage for a country, but for the world, deserves every respect and should never be forgotten. The two reasons for the sacrifice they put down and to make damn sure it never happens again, that people don't have to lose their lives over something like wars that usually start out of a silly situation, you know. A lot of them do, I think, anyway, because it comes down to one country wanting something, one leader wanting something that ends up not being a benefit to anyone in the end of the day, you know. So, but it's a choice that you got to understand. Is that a person's making their choice to put their life on the line unselfishly. I think that's the main thing, unselfishly.
Yeah, it's certainly a hard thing to sort of talk about, and I can sit here and say that I feel bad trying to say that veterans and military should be thought of more highly than emergency services, stuff like that, to put their lives on the line as well. But it is a different level. If it was just purely peacetime, and I mean, military didn't sort of do that much, well, it may be a bit of a different matter in case in point, but it's not the reality of it. Like, so when the American forces deploy, so when the American Navy, for instance, deploys a carrier, this is 100% factual. They expect to lose up to 10% of their crew in some form of casualty. So whether it be by an accident or whatever else, they expect to lose 10% of their crew or their complement over that periodicity of their deployment, from whatever reason. That's not in a war zone. So by and large, it's nature. And it's the same with being a police officer. The nature of the job itself has huge inherent risks. I mean, like, part of my job every day was to go walk amongst the missiles and the shells. So I mean, you could walk in through the missile launcher, and an accident happens in there, and a missile could ignite or blow up, and you're dead. But again, it's not something where I try, and wording it is probably not necessarily as easy as what it may seem sometimes either, but it doesn't lessen what the emergency services and that do. But it's just one of those things. But anyway, so yeah, it's a very, very important day. Important day for my family. My family have taken that on in abundant spirit, and they pay their respects, and yeah, it's a very important day. But getting back to what Tunic asked earlier, we have a separate day, Remembrance Day, which is in November, the 11th, which is Remembrance Day, and that's also known as Armistice Day in Europe. So that was the day that the war came to an end. That is recognised separately to Anzac Day. So Anzac Day is recognised as what JJ said, the Anzac spirit, and what was done at Gallipoli and then onward from Gallipoli at Europe. So whether it be the From, Bully Court, Fromell, what else was there? A whole pile of battles, and some of the biggest battles there were turned and won by the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps when they were never expected to, and it did turn the battle of the war in Europe. In many cases there. And certainly I can say I'm extremely proud of that, because, like I said, my 3 great uncles, one of which died on the day of landing. The other one in particular, Ned, he was actually a part of virtually all those biggest battles that ever were. And there's a book that was written about my 3 uncles, and it goes through the details of what they did and what they were part of, and that's sort of adds to the pride and all that sort of stuff, and you sort of take it all on board, and I only learnt about that after I joined the military. So I only found out about that part of our family history after I joined the military. So I already had the pride instilled in me and sort of stuff from serving, and then to find out that level of history from our family as well just makes it all that much more important and special. But anyway, so I've discussed about it enough. But yeah, so anyway, tomorrow is Anzac Day here in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to convey a situation that no one's ever been through.
It is, and yeah, it's
I
not.
suggest people watch Band of Brothers, because the same thing, like, you've got your, especially because movies and that, they give you an impression and it's always dramatized and that. But there's a TV series, a 10-part TV series, which follows the Easy Company from the Airborne through D-Day right through to the end, and it's probably one program, and I've watched it lots and lots, that's actually given me a sort of sense of what it'd be like, because it's not dramatized, it's not, they've followed pretty much, I mean, there's some things taken in that didn't actually happen, but purely because the story, trying to tell a story in 10 episodes, but for the most part, the realism's there. The realism of what they went through, the realism of the camaraderie, the realism of what they had to deal with. The only thing that doesn't show is, like, a lot of people don't realise, which also, like most people, you get your idea of what World War II and World War I like from movies, but you've got to remember that these battles that people were taking, they could go for weeks and months just to gain a foot or two of territory. They didn't have a battle one day and then gained a whole town. You know, they were fighting in one spot for weeks and months just to gain a foot or two of territory. And you just got to think about that, you know, that's constant fighting every day, loss of lives, just to gain, you know, a foot or two of territory. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, I just ran out of fuel there, because when I went the other truck stop, while I pulled into the fuel bowser, I didn't actually press the button to refuel, so I didn't refuel. So I'm going in here to refuel. I'm a matter of like half a mile from the fuel spot and ran out of fuel. I did the emergency refuel to get back into here. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the short and the tall of what tomorrow's all about. I apologise for being such a long diatribe. But you can probably tell it means a fair bit. So many thanks to all those that have served in the past, the present, and also in the future. Your service is well respected, and it doesn't matter what country you come from. If you've served, then you deserve that respect.
Indeed.
Come on, go green. Thank you. Right.
That's the end of today's history lesson. Next is socioeconomics and politics.
Yeah, we're covering the full gambit, aren't we, really? Tunic says, when we forget to be thankful for what people have done or have been willing to do, then we lose track of our history, and when we do, what we start to relapse, sort of relive the past wars and all. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what we're alluding to, previously when we're talking about things like Black Lives Matter and all that sort of stuff as well. It's all the same sort of thing. I mean, we can't forget our past. We need to embrace our past, embrace the errors of our past and make improvements to our future. That's the important thing we need to do.
And move on.
Exactly, yeah.
If you keep bringing it up, it's always going to be there. You know?
Yeah.
You just need to move on. Live now.
Exactly. Live for the now, not for the past, and live for the future. Otherwise, our kids and our kids' kids are going to have a very shit world to live in. It's going to be bad enough as it is anyway, so we've got to give them as much of a chance as they can. Anyway, so we're now getting back onto the game itself. We're 112 mile from our destination, which means we're 112 mile from finishing. For those of you that have joined and gone and joined and come back and whatever else, and those that you may be watching afterwards, I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be continuing this series on, so you'll be able to continue to help with the viewership and choosing our direction with ATS, as we will also be doing with ETS on Twitch.
And most importantly, if anything, you've learned something today with this stream, is that for the next one to bring a notepad and a pencil. Take notes. On all the lessons that we give. From Professor Duck. And intern Jay. Anyway, I've actually got to get going and have lunch and get ready.
Alright, so I'm going to take a shortcut through here, get some fuel, and get to our destination.
But I will still be watching while I do that.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping in and joining us.
Is there a test at the end? I think the test was... No, I won't say that. The test was staying here through all the...
You can leave now.
Alright, yep. I shall catch you later on.
Alright, no worries.
Everyone else enjoy the rest of the stream. We'll see you later.
Alright, see you, mate. Alright, tank's fuel full. Let's finish off this route. Tunic says I've learned more in this stream than I did almost all year in history class. It wasn't a very good history class if that was the case, but listen to old farts, sometimes you do tend to learn things. Alright, head back out. We got less than 100 mile to go. 98 mile. Where did we go to? Well, Idaho, didn't we? Where we went. Definitely haven't been out this far before in ATS, so this is all new area to me. Not that we've looked at the view too much. I do like the big truck stops now that they've got in here. It's and there's more coming with the next DLC, Wyoming. Some nice big truck stops and warehouses as well. So another place to kick off your jobs from big warehouses. So that will be interesting to see. Actually, you know, have we actually made it into Idaho yet? Haven't seen any signs. We're on the historical highway. I think I can. Yeah, see, not being to Idaho, I wouldn't know. I don't know whether this typically looks like Idaho, but I trust that bus is probably likely just to pull straight out in front of me. Yeah, I didn't notice any signs. Well, pardon me. Saying we're in Idaho. I mean, there's a big sign advertising it, isn't there? It's pretty close, is it? But I stepped through Idaho in a van before, but aside from that, I've never been. Fair enough. What, you were wrapped up in the back of a van like as cargo or something, were you? Or just went through 3 Island Crossing. Is that what that was back there? Was it? Well, considering I've only got 39 mile to our destination, I would assume we're in Idaho. Duck Valley. Hey, we're home. Duck Valley. Who would have thought? There's no sign for it? Oh, fair enough. I was sleeping through the night on a family road trip. No, I know. Just when you say a van, like to us, that's like a panel van. So it's not like a van with multiple seats in the back of it. It's like your standard delivery van. We've only got the front bench seat, effectively. Idaho City. Well, if we're close to Idaho City turn off, then turn off here. Has a large Air Force base. Mountain home. Okay. Come on, change traffic lights. Nice trucks over there, parked. I'll start doing the sign up because we're almost there. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Well, you might want to tell this guy. Back there. Yeah, okay. I'll try it next time, and if I get a ticket, I'll blame you. Thanks everyone for joining us and helping us along with the trips today. Canadian Tunic, the Aussie Cocky, Shag and Wagon. Hey, g'day Aussie. yeah, thanks to everyone that's joined in with the chat today and viewed with us. It is always a pleasure to have you here. Glad to be back on YouTube as well. So hopefully we'll continue to get back in more content and be more regularly on YouTube, and yeah, so we'll continue on from there. But we'll be back maybe tonight. I may hit JJ up. We may do a stream, or may stream on Twitch. We may do a zombie stream in Call of Duty. So just keep an ear out, or eye out. Where are we going? This one? Yeah, in here. Sure, we can swing into those trailers. Yeah, so we may do a stream later on tonight, doing some zombie killing. But keep an eye out. Keep an eye on Twitch and Discord. I'll let everyone know there when we're planning on going live, and we go from there. But yeah, thanks very much for listening. Cover a few diverse subject matters today, and we'll be back and do it again all very, very soon here at Duxville again. Where the hell is this trailer parking? In that shed? Nope. No, I don't want to go in there. It's supposed to show me a red flag. It's not showing it to me. This new GPS isn't very good. Oops. Wait. Obviously, we look at the corner of the truck, not the side of the truck. Right, parking in here. There we go. So yeah, thanks again for joining. Sorry, I was just concentrating on trying to get this thing in here, and hopefully it doesn't take out the trailer on the back. But yeah, we've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we shall see you again very, very soon back here at Duxville Gaming live on YouTube. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll catch you all later. Take care of yourselves. Bye.